Hey everybody, happy travel day. Way3 News meteorologist Brian Good here on this Wednesday, and we'll get you to the short term leading into the holiday, and then we'll get, of course, to the longer range here in just a second. First off, on the radar trends, we've had showers around most of the morning. In fact, now we're getting that dry slot, the warm flow out of the south really starting to kick in. That's going to shut the rain off for a few hours, looks like later this morning into the early afternoon period, and should allow for some decent warming too, especially in our southern counties, but even as far north as Louisville. We will likely benefit from a nice little jump in temperature with that trend coming through. And of course, the more of these clouds try to thin out and you get some sun involved in that, the warmer you easily get. In fact, mid-60s, I wouldn't roll that out for especially our southern counties later on today. Meanwhile, we still got to deal with this band of rain. It's waiting for us. Illinois along the Mississippi River, that will be here, but more toward later this afternoon into the sunset time period. That's when we'll see that wave come through the area. So it's kind of a half and half type of day around the area. Wider view does show this is the only game in town really for travel issues. Thunderstorms in Louisiana, but the big cities looking good, including Atlanta. So if you have airline plans today, you should be in good shape. Chicago may have some minor delays, but nothing major going on. And I got another system in the northwest, but for holiday standards, we're looking pretty good so far. All right, so let's look at the snowboard as we look down the road. And a couple of things to point out. I'm keeping the rain snow symbol here for the 30th. This will be next Wednesday, although that's very, very iffy, and does not look to be anything significant. Very well could end up taking it off in the updating for tomorrow. But for right now, I'll trend slow with this, and I'll explain why that's the case in a second. And then you'll see another situation on the 6th of December that will be very similar to the one on the 30th, where it's an end of a storm system event, which usually those are relatively minor for our area. All right, so let's talk about the system as we head into early next week, the one that's going to lead into the 30th. Two systems really involved in this. One will be a wave that will track across the Midwest. Should kick up our wind pretty good on Sunday. It should stay dry Sunday, but Sunday night into Monday, showers begin to break out in the area. Very well could see temperatures getting close to 60. The front itself isn't going to go all the way through, though. It should stall out. We should still see this other low develop. Now, this is where the models diverge drastically here on how this is going to evolve. The key on this low, the main low that we'll have to watch, the stronger the low is, the more it's going to cut the best it can north of Kentucky. The more weaker it is, the more it could go to the south. Obviously, a weaker version would lend, at least raise some eyebrows for potential maybe some mixed rain and snow kind of setup here in the Ohio Valley. Nothing drastic, but a stronger low would then put us more into a zone for maybe some stronger thunderstorms working their way into our area. Right now, we're looking to be in the middle of the road, which looks to be a good soaking rain that will likely pass through. Not bad news, not only for us, but really for the southeast corner of the country should benefit from this. So we'll see how it plays out. Here's your rain snow line up to the north. This will likely be again mainly Tuesday. Euro especially is a lot slower than the other models are. GFS is a lot faster. We're bringing this in. So the speed on the two systems here and how they evolve together is going to be still adjusted. So I wouldn't get too worked up yet on the timing of rainfall on this yet. But here's the core of it moving in over us, and then there's a bit of a catch-up with the cold air, but as we usually see in these races, the drying trend usually wins out versus the cold air catching it at the back. But can't roll it out entirely if the if the low is weaker, I should say, and that's the reason why we'll see how it trends in future runs. Speaking of that, here are the model ensembles and the actual models. For those of you who are new at seeing this, GFS, Euro, and the Canadian. These are the actual model runs that update every few hours. These are the ensembles of those same models, which smooth out all the chaos that these model runs can have and kind of give you a general idea, and they're usually the best to look at in the long range. But this is going to set us up for Monday. And you can see the ridge in the southeast corner of the country, the warm push. The Canadian's a bit stronger with the colder air, so therefore more to the south with the track of that low as we head into Monday and Tuesday. But I like the look here, the GFS and the Euro ensembles. I think they're very much on similar ideas and paths here, so that's the way the forecast right now is trending. And then after it moves by, the ensembles do show the cool dip in the temperatures you saw there for the first couple days of December. GFS a little more aggressive on its actual run. The Euro is not. In fact, it already begins to warm us back up as another low takes shape in the Rockies. Maybe too fast on that kind of a deal. The ensemble is not exactly as aggressive as that. So at the moment, GFS seems to be winning that battle. And the Canadian, I'm not sure exactly what the Canadian, it looks like it's still stuck on the idea from early in the week. And then as we get toward, say, the 8th or 9th of December, later in the month, that is when we see the ensembles anyway show how the cold air is going to get more established into the plains and the Great Lakes. Most of the models agree on that. The Euro's a bit stronger with the Pacific Northwest still getting hit with several storm systems. We will have to watch that because that has been the trend so far for the fall season. There's no reason to think that it will change drastically. The other model's not as aggressive with that. But notice even on the GFS how the ridge is still trying to hold strong in the southeast corner. And I think that's going to be the big headline for the winter, is that how that plays out. Looking at the indices, NAO is negative all the way through December here, and of course that just tells us there's still a good amount of blocking. The cold air, which the EPO going negative, supports that, so the cold air digging into the lower 48 is going to dig in and likely sit there for a while. The P&A is still wavering. It's still not settling on positive or negative because of that jet still being fairly strong in the Pacific Northwest, and that's going to be the caveat probably in our details of each storm system. When you look at the signal analysis, you're looking at temperature, but just look at the overall trends here of the different model ideas, and you will see that, and it's off so far. I've noticed it's been about 2 days off on a lot of this, but anyway, the up and down pattern. Now, we've got up and down several decent storms here around the mid portion of the month, 10th through the 15th. A significant drop, maybe a decent storm moving through our neck of the woods very close to the first day of winter. And then a large warm-up showing up here, close to 70 degrees on at least one of the model ensembles, but the other is not far from it. And then a significant drop right after that leading into the new year. So once again, it's that week of Christmas to New Year. Still showing up. There's still a potential wave that rotates around the globe here. That's what this is analyzing. That could repeat itself and could be an impact during that week. I'm not taking that off the table at all. But between now and then, I think we're going to be set up in a situation where we're going to have, the cold air locked in a good spot. Not over us entirely, but close. We're going to be on that fence to where we're going to be in a constant flow of low pressures moving through, and that's going to put us in a stormy and wet pattern. Can we get snow out of that? Absolutely you can. All you need is a shift of one or two of these to go more south, and you can. But on the flip side, you can shift a little more north every now and then. You can get severe weather to take place. Either way, several chances for rain, so I think we're going to get a chance to pull out of this drought as we get to the month of December based on the storm track. That's it for now, guys. Have a good day, and have a safe Thanksgiving.